tonight here, the moment a nation held its breath. The prisoners of war in Vietnam finally coming home, 50 years later, with us. It was the relief and the joy in this country 50 years ago. U.S. servicemen who had been held captive in Vietnam as prisoners of war were finally coming home. Air Force Captain Norman McDaniel, back on American soil. It was 1973.
I have a wonderful wife and two wonderful children.
Held captive for 2,399 days, more than 6.5 years. 50 years later, he and fellow prisoners of war, right here.
I am Norman A. McDaniel. I was shot down on July 20th, 1966.
Tom Hanton. I was a young captain when I was shot down on the 27th of June,
Where you go down to?
1972. Lee Ellis. I was a first lieutenant and was there 5.5 years.
Everett Alvarez, lieutenant junior grade. I was captured 8.5 years.
All 4 men shot out of the sky and captured. Their treatment was brutal.
They dragged you out of the cell into an interrogation torture room, back into the cell.
I resisted and was tortured and resisted and tortured.
I felt like it was me versus the whole North Vietnamese.
They would spend years communicating through prison walls by tapping.
I would tap, so to say hi, you go 2, 3, 2, 4.
That's it.
We would sign off every day with this one. That's GBU, God bless you. That was like goodbye and God bless you.
It was 1973, many years into that war. The peace treaty, the Paris Peace Accords, were signed. The POWs finally started to come home. The image back then, Everett Alvarez walking off the plane with a salute. He has not forgotten that moment.
It was unreal. It was overwhelming.
In the right-hand corner of this photo at the bottom, that's Tom Hanton.
This was the reaction when the aircraft commander of that C-141 said we're in international waters. I mean, hell, 8.5 years?
Lee Ellis, boarding the plane home, handed a cigar.
Regrown my mustache, which most fighter pilots back then had, so I could go home like I came in.
Norman McDaniel, when he was reunited with his wife and his son, who was 11.
I will never forget. He said, we're never going to let you leave us again.
To honor the 591 POWs coming home, President Nixon invited them to the White House. Servicemen walking in on crutches, some wearing eye patches. And this week, 50 years after that dinner, so many of those POWs together again at the Nixon Presidential Library. 150 POWs from 37 states. They told us why this reunion was so important.
Well, they're the best. I'd die for any of these guys.
I just thank God for every one of us who came back, and I feel so sorry for the ones who didn't make it back.
We're just grateful. We've had good lives. We're grateful.
We honor them then, we honor them now.